And here I thought I'd have to hold your hand and guide you here.
Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. I'm married, so.
The nonsense. I do not care for your fruitless attempts of sass.
I apologize, I got the wrong hill.
And here I thought with your history with the lost you'd be more familiar.
I know, but it would have thought there'd be two lookout posts, you know. I apologize.
I take it your conversation, your meeting, your circus was fruitful.
There were some fruits, you know. I don't know whether it was overall was very fruitful, but sure you knew that anyway.
I have certainly refrained from action upon some of those. Whether they knew it or not, they assisted.
Assisted with what exactly?
I asked you what your opinions were of the mares. And whilst I try to be not direct with certain pieces of information, I think now I will have to resort to being a little more blunt. The princess is so very eager. Are you sure she is fit for office? Does she truly have the interests of the people in mind?
She's, like you said, she runs a mare. But there's been nothing to indicate that she doesn't have the people's best interest in mind. Has she said something to you?
Perhaps you should pull up her phone records. That may give you an indication.
Well, you know, that's not the kind of thing I can just do.
Pathetic worm of a marshal certainly extends his authority.
Who are you talking about?
Out of all of you, who is the other that is sick?
Craig?
And would you put your life on the line for that worm? An insult to worms all over, including yourself.
You could argue I already put my life on the line when I didn't take your cure. So, I think the answer for that question is yeah, I would. 'Cause that's my job. But
You throw yourself onto the fire so much. When you go home at night, is there anything left? Or is it just straight to sleep, to wake up the next morning as you go to work again? You, in some form, have become akin to a disease. Single-minded. One purpose, and that purpose, whether you like it or not, is going to be your downfall. Like your husband and how blind he is to the problems in his life. And you may not like me saying such. It may try and boil your blood, but it is a harsh reality. And especially now, I have no issues ripping off that bandage. I have tried to steer my hand out of direct involvement, nudged humanity where it needs nudging, and yet either by the fools that have poisoned the well, that continue to persist to push their own agendas. They claim they are helping, but they are driving you further and further into the pit. You see this fucking handprint upon this wood?
mm-hmm.
What do you think that means?
I assume you're pretty angry.
My demeanor may give that of anger, yes. That is your human perception.
Okay. If it's not there, then what?
Disappointment arriving.
You've been around for well, you've been around since the beginning. So why is disappointment only arriving now?
Since the beginning, I have not had a physical manifestation. And I am growing ever so closer in shedding this one.
The thing you came here and wanted to meet up about was that princess?
A warning. The wheels have begun to turn in a motion that is not like before.
What do
The
you mean?
well, the font of information for you and your circle has been so deeply poisoned. I don't think there's any redemption or any salvation awaiting you. This is merely the first warning, the first sign.
You're saying it's that book that we were talking about before? You're saying we're getting towards the end of it?
Your fascination with books.
I mean, I can ask more directly if you want.
Indulge me.
Are you warning me that the end has really begun now.
It began a long time ago.
Then why a
Only
warning
through
now?
my actions have you persisted. Consider it a fork in the road. Take the left path and humanity persists. As the plague you are. Take the right. And fulfill the inevitable. I have for so very long kept you on the left side. But just like the seasons, I think, even I am having a change of thought. Why keep the ungrateful worms alive? Maybe this world and all of creation would be better off without the golden child.
I have no clue or perception of the way you think or believe on anything. So instead, I guess I'll make no presumptions here. But humanity has survived for thousands of years and suffered to no end, but persisted nonetheless. I would. This is a cesspool of selfish, manic individuals. I wouldn't take the people here as an example of humanity.
It isn't just here, Richard. Every corner of this world. The same.
You might be right. I watch the news. I know what's going on out there. Shit's fucked. You got people in positions that they should never have reached, causing arguably more suffering than you. But just like in every corner of the world, there is the people that you despise. In every corner of the world, there is good people too. And I know you probably don't follow the good and evil and anything else. But there is still a balance. The scales aren't touching the floor yet. So maybe until they do, don't change your mind on anything.
You're starting to learn. You are not the man you was near that lighthouse. That man would have been dead already. You're coming to terms with your mortality.
I think I've come to terms with the fact that I went to hell and back again, or near enough anyway. I'm not doing this for me. I don't do any of this for me. I do this for, you know, my family and my children. And their children after that. Just like I imagine you do things for, you have a purpose, you have a goal. You don't do it for the here and there, you do it for the long term. In that way, I think maybe we're familiar, we're alike. It is, the duty of man to plant fig trees he'll never sit under.
Then I suppose my duties would grant this little nudge. Dig into the princess, won't you? She's not so innocent.
That's true,
And the
then.
next time you see your husband, maybe he'll have a little more life in his bones. Consider that a kindness.
there anything else?
My priority is still with my sibling. Hope that I do not have to pivot my focus.
I understand. And if I can ask, is Mr. Fritz you're doing coming after me?
His obsession with you is so deeply rooted, of his own doing. I merely observe.
Why? Why me? What did I do?
That would be a question for Richard.
I appreciate the warning. Chris, you on radio?
Hey, firm.
I'm good. I'm clearing that.
Getting forward. Same track.
I think that might have been the scariest thing that Pestilence has ever done. What the fuck was that? That was terrifying. That guy just fucking... Pesto did the Kingpin Daredevil scream, man. Fucking Richard. He was fucking there, man. I thought that screen was a local at first.
Got another report about you.
Grumpy, brother. Holy fuck, dude. Ooh, thank you for the 50 gifted, man. That's insane. My God, Grampy, thank you so much, buddy. Holy fuck. Thank you for supporting the stream. Damn. Grumpy, you're a G, man. Thank you so much. Holy shit. $50 people added to the sock drawer, man. No, dude, I appreciate you, Grippy. Thank you so much, man. Holy shit. Well, that was quite the conversation. I gotta go AFK in just a sec. Need my thoughts? Pestilence is turning out to be like, how do I put this? I want to try and put this in the right terms, you know? Who's a good example? Pestilence. Sorry, I'm going back to Harry Potter, okay? Because I just watched that video before. Pestilence is like when you read the Harry Potter books or you watch the movies. He's given me like not necessarily the same vibes, but in the way the story goes, Pestilence is giving me like Snape vibes, where he's a much more complex character than I expected. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go into reading Harry Potter and you're like, fucking hell, Snape's evil. Right? And then you get to the end of the books and the end of the movies and you're like, is he? What's he all about, man? You know what I mean? And that's what's going on with me and Pestilence right now. Because it's like the questionable things he's doing, like what am I trying to say? Like how he's talking about like giving humanity a nudge in the right direction, and how he's the one that's been like keeping humanity alive for all this time, right? That he's suggesting he's the one who's been doing that. And he's the one who's like stopped everything just coming to a fucking end. And that's such a like interesting element to all of this, right? So yeah, and now he's like warning us, suggesting we investigate fucking Princess's phone records. Like, it's difficult. I think the best way to describe it is complex. It's very complex right now. Okay, I need to go AFK for just a minute. So I'll be back in just a moment, okay? Gonna go fucking hide over here. Okay. I've really got to fucking end stream soon, dude. But
Hey, Dark.
hey, I just wanted to, you know, you were giving me Overwatch, so I guess give you a bit of info. It depends how filled in you are and everything, really, with him and Norman and all that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty filled in.
Are you, how do I say, as Nino would put it, the I can't remember exactly the term he used, but are you aware of all the strange supernatural stuff? But
Yeah.
essentially, and I'd appreciate if you kept this between us. Pestilence wanted to give me a warning. Specifically, he said that the wheel isn't turning as it was before. Now, I tried to get some clarification on that, and I don't exactly know what he meant. But to him, and his warning is that we're at a fork in the road. And one way is we carry on persisting, and he quoted, like the plague we are. Or the other road is, you know, the end of, I guess, everything.
Right.
So in a very strange way, and I do not know how to describe this properly, the guy seems, the guy, I'll use guy because he's the conflicted. He's conflicted. When I left, I heard him scream, and it might just be the most terrifying thing I've ever heard.
Did it sound like scream out of anger, confliction, or like out of pain?
All of the above. It was
Interesting.
It was guttural. It was bestial. It was. It felt like I was trying to convince him to keep us all alive. Which I don't know whether I'm gonna have been successful or not, but he seems to believe and imply that he's the one who has kept us away from, I guess, this exact situation for so many, you know, millennia, I guess. And now he's thinking about changing his mind because of the way that people are and the way people are becoming. So it's a very, like I said, I think it's very complex, and I don't really know how to feel about it. So
Yeah. I have been thinking, you know, right before I got hired on, I was talking with Oshira quite a bit. No, she didn't tell me any information or anything like that. But when I got hired on, and I found out that she was working closely on the plague stuff, and you know, this was still during her week of kind of thinking about stuff. She did say, or I did ask her, I was like, you know, well, despite anything that you do, are you still willing to talk to me in regards if I happen to get on any of the Blake investigation stuff. And she said, yeah. And I don't know if she still talks to him or not. But
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think you kind of feel like reaching out to her and saying, hey, you know, what do you know?
I wouldn't
mean, I
trust any
know-
word that came out of her mouth.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. From an outside perspective, it seemed like it was just weird. It was weird that the incident at the observatory with the lighthouse, like, I mean, I don't know. One hand, I could see why she didn't step in, but at the other hand, like, you know, like there's a connection there with him. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, mate. But I guess we'll have to try and figure it out. But I figured I'd fill you in on that meeting, giving you helping me out. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I was talking with Jackie and Dr. Perry, and that meeting did not go well for them. Perry was kind of on the verge of quitting, and I tried to encourage her. It's like, listen, don't let the opinions of someone like Nino or like Princess deter you from all the hard work that you've been doing. But in that, they did bring up an interesting point. Jackie said that, or said in the meeting, Princess mentioned something about getting the cure, and she kind of dodged around it a little bit. I noticed it as well. She says she got it from a dumpster. And
that's
it's
what
from
she
an
said.
unknown.
That
Yeah, she says she got it from a dumpster, and someone from a payphone, unknown number, told her that. But then Jackie mentioned something to me that no, Aspen, she got it from Aspen. So I kind of want to do some more digging around that, because it's just I don't like how much she's poking around things to begin with, but I'm trying to wrap my head around, why she would, if it is a lie, why she would lie about something like that. And I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
okay.
So
Put
I wanted to
some
bring that up before I forgot it.
put some feelers out. Just put your head to the ground and see if you know find anything about that or surrounding that with Princess, and let me know. All right.
Yep. Oh, will do.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Yep. Take care, Doc.
And he's on the phone. Well, I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet from Larry, so I don't think he's dead. Per Lang's 911 earlier. What the fuck? Oh! He had a hot gun. Coming back to Ilya's murder. There's no way. Holy shit. Oh. Have all those phones been spinning? That Why is it raining, dude? I don't want it to rain right now. Benny, yeah. Pick up. Derek.
Hello?
Hey, Barrick, how are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself? How are
Yeah,
things?
bit the same. What's going on?
Not much. I just no, we haven't really crossed paths a lot recently or at all. And I just saw you in the meeting room earlier and I just wrapped a couple things up and I just gonna see if you're still around, see what you're up to.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've just been plodding on, man. It's a bit of a shit show at the minute, but you know, it's
Yeah, that's an
gotta do what you
understatement.
gotta do, man. Yeah, someone's gotta do it. But yeah, it's kind of been my life at the minute. It's just day after day of madness, I guess.
Yeah, I can relate to that in some way, shape, or form. I imagine it's a different degree for you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Much different degree. Has anybody spoken to you about some visitors at Edgar's house a few days ago?
Yeah, somebody's spoken to me. Yeah.
Good. Just making sure that didn't fall through any kind of cracks in communication or anything.
No, I appreciate that. How did your visit with Edgar go?
Went fine. Truthfully, I don't believe a lot of what he says. As any kind of time I previously spent around him, he spoke with a lot of conviction, and when he generally like is very convinced about something that he's talking about, I feel like he still speaks this way. But when I speak to him now, there are things that it doesn't really seem that way at all, which is very, very odd. Maybe I'm just just looking into it too much or overthinking it, but he I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'll be honest, I really don't think he remembers the past couple months, you know, since what happened to him.
It's very possible. I mean, I guess that's the question that keeps like going back and forth in my head is he does he genuinely not remember, or is he being selective, or is there some kind of angle here? Speak about things.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've spoken to him twice since, and he's still the same guy, but
Yeah. On the surface, anyway.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. But I think, he's in a rough spot. I can't imagine, you know. He's lost 2 months of his life, but to him, I guess that he hasn't lost it. Because he thinks he's, you know, been the Guam and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. You had any contact with any of those people lately?
Other than, well, if you're talking about the people that visited now, other than them like just being across the street. But the others, not really. Well, yes and no. And one of them I've never spoken to, and honestly never seen with my own eyes until I was standing outside Edgar's house or the property a few days ago, and he drove by like 4 different times.
Was it a black car or a white car?
It was a black car.
Okay.
The first time I noticed it, but I didn't take too much account of the driver, but I made sure to make notice of it the second and third time that it came down the street. And unless somebody was playing some kind of prank, it was yeah, it was him. So
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right.
yeah, and then yeah, the other one I haven't spoken to in a while.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. It's been kind of, as curious as I am, I'm as many questions as I have about just things in general. I feel like it's best to have some left unanswered, as much as I would like to hear answers, or some form of them anyway.
Yeah.
But you gonna run for this director position?
No, not if the. No, fuck that.
Why not?
Well, I only found out, I guess, a month later, or I don't know, at least a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, that there was a vote for me to be the director, and me being the object of this is not my concern, but there was a vote and it wasn't unanimous. It was 4-1, and someone had issues with the way I do things. I don't know what justice that was, other than it wasn't Murray. And instead of talking to me, or let's say instead of talking to the person who was, nearly voted in, 80% voted in, to improve on or correct whatever issues there were, instead we hear nothing, and then I reach out to a justice to be like, hey, we've had this legislation for like a month now, and Weiss don't do shit. So can we, when we get a new director? And then not 2 days, less than 48 hours after I talked to Falconer about it, Weiss puts up an announcement, not to us, not directly to the marshals, but to the whole of PD, that people can now apply for interviews to be the director as long as they've got command experience. So to me, it's just a big old, middle finger, because they clearly don't think anybody currently in the marshals is fit for the position. So I'll be honest, I'm not interested in. If they wanted me in that position, then they would have corrected the things that I do wrong, and then there would have been another vote, and I would have been there. But that's not the case, so I'm not gonna beg for it.
I don't think you'd be begging for it.
That's how
And I do
you
think,
mean, man.
And I do think, what you're saying is the probably logical way to go about it, for sure. And probably how it should have gone. But I don't think, if you're gonna, at least in my opinion, if you're gonna keep doing it, and if you're gonna keep pushing down this road anyway, I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice by not trying. In all honesty.
That's the thing. I have been trying. That's all we've been doing since Angel left. That's all we've been doing is trying to keep the department going.